You don't need a six-figure salary to buy a home in Lethbridge, and the real number might surprise you. In fact, for some people, it's less than what you're paying for rent right now. Let me show you. Most people either underestimate or overestimate how much money they actually need to buy a home here in Lethbridge. The truth is, Lethbridge is still one of the most affordable cities in Alberta, and today I'm going to break it down exactly what kind of income you need to get into the market right now. I'll even show you how Lethbridge stacks up against Calgary and Edmonton, so you can really see the difference in real dollars. First, let's talk about the average price of a home here in Lethbridge. As of August 2025, the average home price was $437,000. Now let's compare that to Alberta's two largest cities. In Calgary, the average home price for August was $609,000. That's about 39% higher than it was in Lethbridge. In Edmonton was $436,000, actually 0.4% lower. So what does this all mean? Calgary is still significantly more expensive, but when you compare Lethbridge to Edmonton, we're about right on the line. The difference is that Lethbridge, you can find larger lots, newer builds, at the same price, which gives buyers more value for their money. Here's the common rule of thumb lenders use today. They generally don't want housing costs to be more than 30 to 35% of your gross monthly income. That includes your mortgage payment, property tax, and your utility costs. So say you're looking at the average home price of $437,000. If you put down the minimum of 5% down, that's $21,900 upfront. Your mortgage would likely be around $416, and at today's interest rate, your monthly payment lands somewhere between $2,500 to $2,700, depending on the exact rate and terms you get. Add in property taxes and utilities, you're probably close to around that $3,000 a month mark. Now, if we work backwards, that means you need to be making around $90,000 to $100,000 household income to qualify comfortably. Let's break this down into three scenarios so you can see where you might fit. First-time buyer with a modest income, maybe around $60,000 household income. And the key point is household income. At that level, you're looking around somewhere between that $250,000 to $300,000 range. In Lethbridge, this can still get you a nice starter home, half a duplex or maybe a townhouse in a decent neighborhood. Middle income, let's say around $90,000 to $100,000 for a combined income. That's what household income means. That's where the most average detached homes are accessible. You'd be right in the sweet spot between $400,000 to $450,000 price range, which where the bulk of Lethbridge homes are sitting. Higher income households, if you're over $120,000, you have more flexibility. You could comfortably afford somewhere between that $500,000 to $600,000 range. In Lethbridge, that opens doors for newer builds, larger lots, and homes with more upgrades. Here is why this conversation is so important. National headlines often talk about housing affordability being out of reach in some Canadian cities. That's true. But in Lethbridge, the numbers look a lot different. You don't need a six-figure salary just to step into the housing market. And that's one of the big reasons why people are moving out here. Our relative affordability makes Lethbridge an attractive not only for first-time buyers, but also for investors who want rental properties that actually cash flow. Of course, it's not all about income. Your credit score, your debts, and your down payment all play a role. If you have a vehicle loan or a lot of consumer debt, that can reduce the amount you qualify for. On the flip side, if you have a larger down payment saved up, it lowers your monthly costs and helps you qualify for more. Another thing to keep in mind is interest rates. Even a 1% change in the rate can swing your monthly payments by hundreds of dollars. That's why working with a good mortgage broker is just as important as finding the right home and the right realtor. So how much do you really need to make to afford a home in Lethbridge? The answer, it depends on your lifestyle, your debt, and your goals. But the general guideline, a household income around $90,000 to $100,000 puts you right in the middle of the market right here in Lethbridge. And even with a bit less, you still have a lot of options. If you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more local real estate insights. And if you're curious where you stand personally, reach out anytime. I'm happy to connect you with a mortgage broker and help you figure out exactly what kind of home fits your budget here in Lethbridge. Thanks for watching. Till next time.